Okay, so you've gotten divorced, and you're starting a new life. You're starting fresh. I mean, you have to start fresh. You can't continue living the same way you've before you got divorced, because then nothing's going to change. Okay, and it's dangerous to continue to be living in the same state that you were before, because that can lead you into a state of depression. It can lead you into a state of anger. It can lead you into a state of, not living your best life. And the purpose of this video is to help you get to from where you are now, which is essentially, a failed relationship, and potentially, a failing of what you really wanted to, from before. Because like you didn't get married to get divorced. You got married because you wanted to have a wonderful relationship, and potentially if you have children, you wanted to have children, and you wanted to build a wonderful family and all of those kinds of things. And guess what? That didn't happen. Okay, and so you can call that a failure, and that's okay. It's okay to fail. We all fail. The important thing now is that we learn from our past mistakes and that we figure out how to live a better life. Okay, so two things that I want to touch on, so that you can get back on your feet right now and start to live the life that you deserve, and you can be happier and all of those kinds of things. So number one, and this is very, very, very important. Walk away from all arguments with your ex. Okay? There's no need to continue to argue about who said what, who did what, how you're treating me, any of those kinds of things. If there was cheating in their relationship or anything like that, that's done. It doesn't matter anymore. You've both decided to move on, and you need to walk away from any argument, anything like that. And if you have kids, especially if you have kids, you want to make sure that you're respectful to your ex, and because they are still the mother of your children. Okay, so that's the number one thing. You want to walk away from all arguments. Start to focus on positive things. Okay, so if there's an argument coming up, you start to feel angry or whatnot, you gotta be able to recognize that, stop yourself, change the subject, and if you have to walk away or if you have to hang up the phone, just respectfully say, hey, you know what, I don't want to have this conversation, and move on to something else. Okay? Number two, okay, the second thing that you need to do in order to start living that fresh life that you want to do is establish a routine right away. Okay? And by routine, I mean a daily routine, and I like to break it down into three sections. Number one, your morning routine. Number two, what happens during the day. And number three, your evening routine. Okay? And so something very important that you need to keep in mind here is that the way that you start your day is determined by the way that you end your day. So if you want to have an excellent day the next day, make sure that your evening routine sets you up for success for the next day. Okay, so what are some of the things that you can do? You can reflect on positive things that happened during the day. So one thing that I do is I take a 5-minute journal. And in there it asks, what are some great things that happened, and I write down 3 great things that happened today, 3 amazing things that happened today. Even if I've had a shitty day, I still want to write down what are some of those great things that happened, because it changes my perspective on how the day really was. And keep in mind that sometimes when we have bad days, we tend to focus on those negative things, and then going to bed in a bad mood, that's never good. Okay, so reflect on the positive things that happen in your day and write them down. Another thing that I like to do in the evening is review my to-do list for the next day. so that I have a clear expectation of when I wake up the next day, what are the things that I need to do? Which appointments do I need to go to? Do I have to take the kids to school? What time do I have to be at work? What time, am I going to the gym? All of those kinds of things, right? And then number 3 is I like to make sure that my lunch is prepared for the next day, as well as make sure that my clothes are already picked up. So then I wake up the next day and all of those things are taken care of, and I have a much easier time in the morning getting ready for my day. Okay? So that's the evening routine. The morning routine is different, I like to wake up, and I've talked about this in one of my other videos, but I like to wake up, and the first thing I like to do is be grateful. Okay, so I like to meditate, think about, and write about the things that I'm grateful for. Okay, and that sets up my mindset to be focused on the things that I'm grateful for. Okay, and again, what you focus on expands. So the more focus that you have on the things that are good in your life, the more good things that are going to happen. Okay, so what are you grateful for? Okay, so that's part of the morning routine. Then I like to read for a little bit. Okay, and the way I do it is I read 5 pages of a book in the morning and 5 pages in the evening. Okay, so I like to read 10 pages a day. Some people like to read a little longer, some people like to read a little less, but for me it's 5 pages, so that's what works for me. And then I like to exercise. Okay, so reflect on gratitude, exercise, and what was the shit? and read 5 pages in the morning. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's the night routine, the morning routine, and then what happens during the day. Okay, and I like to call that grind. Okay, so during the day, this is where you're going after your goals. This is where you're serving people. This is where you're living the purpose of your life. This isn't where you sit around and you're lazy and you're hoping people give you a hand-me-down or hand over, things that are easy for you to get or whatever else. This is the time for you to work on your fitness, to work on your books, to work on your work, to do what the things that you need to do to be successful in your career, to do all of those kinds of things. Okay, so that's really it for this video. Okay, I want you to think about, if you're going through a divorce and you need to get your life back in order, there are 2 main focuses. Number 1, make sure that you're walking away from all arguments with your ex. That is in the past. That is done. You need to move on from that. And the more you're stuck in that, the harder it is for you to start living your new life. Okay? And then number 2, start living your new life now. Establish a routine. Okay? And break that down into 3 segments. Your morning routine, your daily routine, your grind, what does your work look like, and your evening routine, so you're set up for the next day. Okay, that's it for now. I've put my email address in the description of this channel, so greatinyourlife@gmail.com. If you want to contact me, if you have a question, if you need some advice, if you want to just get some back and forth on how you can deal with a certain situation from your past relationship, or how to move forward with your life now that you're a single dad or a single man after divorce, feel free to email me. Okay, you can also set up a one-on-one consultation with me, and I can take you through some of the best proven tactics that have been used so that men who have gone through a divorce can get a fresh start in their life and be the best versions of themselves, the best version of yourself, now that you're starting that new chapter of your life. Okay, so feel free to reach out, make a comment, please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to continue to make videos here, and share it on Facebook, send it to a friend who might need to hear some of these things. And again, my email is greatinyourlife@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.